morning.
And your pet parrot.
Guys, if you have a pet parrot, I need to know about this.
Yeah.
I've always wanted a pet parrot. You know how much I want to be a pirate. I want to know about your pet parrots.
And your also your pet snail named Timothy. Good to see him.
Hey, Timothy.
Hey, how's it going, Timothy? How you doing? Slithering around.
He's a really shellfish slug.
All
right, yep, that was the thing.
Speaking of dad jokes,
You're a dad.
So I'm gonna be a dad.
You are.
I guess I am a dad.
You are technically.
Technically, I'm a dad. I'm a dad.
You're a dad.
Boogie woogie woogie. Right? I don't know how that works.
We'll ignore that part.
Yeah, I mean, I've got like a week.
Can't you see? Dang it, no, okay.
I've got like a week
That's crazy.
before my son and my offspring are brought into this world.
That's crazy.
That's pretty insane.
It really is.
That's pretty crazy.
The crazy fact is that it could even happen like any day.
It could literally happen right now.
Yeah. So if this video just randomly stops right now,
Yeah.
and this is all we update or post, it's because he's having a child.
It's because Samantha's ran out here and she's like, it's happening. And we're just like, well, let's go.
Yeah.
That's
But granted, you know, if you get through this whole video and we go through a full video, then that means that didn't happen.
exactly.
But, you know.
Yeah. And then you know.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it hasn't happened yet.
That is your cue.
Or it could happen from the time of which we're done filming this and the time I get all the editing done and post it at noon.
Eventually.
So it's possible still that it could happen by the time you're watching this.
Eventually, you'll know.
Yes.
Eventually, you'll know. Yeah, crazy times, dude.
It really
crazy,
is.
Crazy stuff going on. You know what's awesome, though, is it is almost the end of April, which means we
It's
are
gonna
almost...
be May.
Oh, wow. We're going to be in May, and starting May 1st, according to La Déclaration from the Governor, that is... I don't know what his first name is. Little.
Can we just make fun of our governor for a moment? See, at least like Washington has like Governor Inslee, and other places have, you know, I don't know any other governor names actually. I only know Washington and now Idaho's. But he's Governor Little.
Yeah.
I just want to make fun of that for a moment.
I don't
I
know.
wonder if he's a little man.
He's not.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is he a big man?
No, he's a normal-sized person.
But he is a little. He's a little governor
Anyway.
of a little state. Governor Little.
Starting May 1st, places of worship are able to be open, which means...
Our church is classified as a place of worship.
Yes! Which means your faces will be in front of our faces, which
With
means
a
our
social
faces...
distance of 6 feet, of course.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Don't be inappropriate about that.
Come on now. You can't be... You're about as far away from me as the camera is right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good sign.
Yeah.
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 Stop. Anyway, we're just really excited to see you guys. You know, I think how this is going to work, you might not see me.
It's true.
You'll probably see Lance because I'm going to have a brand new baby. So hopefully by the time all that goes around. I will probably not be there, but Lance will be there. And then I'll come around, and then eventually baby Judah will come around, and you guys can see the baby and be like, oh my gosh, there's a baby.
Be excited for absolute and utter chaos.
Yeah. No, man.
I've been in isolation for too long.
Yeah.
We are going to wreak havoc.
Okay. Maybe not.
Fires will be burned.
No. Maybe not. No.
Bones will come alive.
No. Well.
See, now I just put a twist on it that you're like, okay, maybe,
All right. Yeah.
maybe it has a spiritual connotation.
Okay. Yeah.
Buildings will be destroyed.
No. Maybe.
The earth will quake. I don't know. The
Anyway.
point is, we're going to have fun, and I'm excited to see you guys because I miss every single one of you guys. And I'm not just saying that to say it, like I legit do.
Yes.
Like really badly, actually.
Do you know what else is fun?
What else is fun?
The Bible.
The Bible?
Yes.
The Gast.
I love reading the Bible. It's amazing.
It
You guys
is.
should also love reading the Bible, and if you don't, you should.
You should.
But
Yeah, the more you get into the Bible, it is definitely a lot more exciting
Yeah.
to definitely jump into it.
it's wonderful. Today we are in the book of Exodus
Exodus.
in chapter 33.
Guys, you know what that means? It's that one conversation between Moses and the Lord.
The Lord too. Yeah. So basically what is happening is Aaron done messed up,
Come on, Aaron.
you know.
Go to Oshak
And-
Hennessy's office.
A lot of things are going on with the Israelites, and the Lord is basically just like, I'm done.
I'm done.
He's like,
I
I'm
quit.
out. I am out. I'm done. And then Moses comes to the Lord and he's like, whoa, big guy.
Dog
Hold
chill.
on. Hold on, big
Big
guy.
chief, calm it down.
Yeah. He's like, hey, listen, if you don't go with us, if your presence doesn't go with us, then we're going to die. Like, I will not move from this spot if your presence doesn't go with us.
Kind of stubborn.
Kind of stubborn.
Just
kind
if you're not going to go with us, then we're not going to go.
of faith-filled.
Kind of.
Kind of like a father of faith.
Yeah. Oh snap.
Oh.
Kind of like he would be listed in Hebrews 11, and he would have been referred to as like part of the cloud of witnesses in Hebrews 12:1, which we
Yeah.
would have talked about last week.
Oh, look at that.
Not
Well,
last week,
basically,
last Wednesday. Sorry.
There's a conversation happening between Moses and God. And Moses is basically saying, Lord, look, if you don't go with us, then we're not going.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we need you to go with us, Father. Which brings us to the Lord's response, which is in verse 19.
And the Lord said,
Yeah.
in verse 19.
So, Exodus 33, verse 19, and let's just kind of jump in here. And the Lord said, I will cause my goodness to pass in front of you, and I will proclaim my name, the Lord, in your presence. I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. It's a good verse.
Such a good verse.
Such a good verse.
Such a good verse. It's our theme song now.
It's actually an awesome verse and the conversation between Moses and God. But what do you think about that, Lance?
I love so much about this. First off, I just love Moses. Mm-hmm. He's an incredible figure to look back on and to kind of use him as an example of how to live life in a lot of ways. And we see how he first started his life. Well, I mean, originally he was an Israelite who grew up in Pharaoh's household as a prince, but he never knew his true nature.
Yeah.
He was kind of orphaned off quietly. And growing up in the Pharaoh's household, he was treated as royalty. He had basically everything he wanted, everything he could need, had all the things. And one day he just kind of like, no, there's more to this, and was out and kind of just felt something more. And that's when he got in touch with God. I don't remember if that's exactly when he stumbled upon the bush. I think he went off to become a shepherd first. But anyway,
Yeah, he goes to become a shepherd.
Yeah.
He kills somebody and runs away.
that's right. So yeah, he leaves everything behind, all of this royalty essentially, and becomes a shepherd and starts finding out what this whole God of Israel thing is all about, this whole Yahweh thing. And then he stumbles upon God and learns about his presence all the more, and like actually builds this relationship with him. And then God's like, I'm going to choose you to go free my people. And he's like, okay, I can't talk though. So, he grabs Aaron and they do this. But this is the fact of like, he knew from such an early stage of just how good God was. And he knew he didn't really have much doubt, but he's just like, I know that God can do this, so we're going to do it. And so yeah, he brings the presents. They exit out of Egypt, hence why it's called the Exodus, and we celebrate Passover. Well, we don't celebrate anyway. And then we fast forward. He brings all his people, or all Israelites, to this mountain, and he's like, "Hey God, I brought the peeps.
Yeah.
Let's party." And then he goes up. He grabs the tablets. He comes down. Aaron messed up. He built a calf. And then we're kind of getting into this territory now. But it's just like that whole section of where like there's just so much excitement.
Yeah.
We're getting to God's presence, and everybody get excited. You're going to be able to meet God and all of his goodness, and like it's going to be such a great and wonderful time. He's super excited. He goes up to God. God's super excited. He comes down. Everybody's done messed up. Everybody's a little bit like, and like everybody, all three parties. And so then we get to this point, and you see just Moses' leadership, but also just how rooted his love for God really is in that moment.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if it were any other leader, they would have been like, all right, God, you know what? You're right. We deserve this. We deserve to not be with you right now.
Yeah.
We'll meet you over there when we're all better, essentially.
Yeah.
But he's like, you know what? No. I know that we all messed up, but we're not going to leave here unless your presence leads here with us.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, we might have sinned. We might have gotten ourselves into this mess, but we still need your presence.
Yeah.
And we are not discounted from your presence. And I feel like that's a really powerful thing to just look back on, knowing that, like, in that time of mess up, he still knew that God's mercy and his goodness and his kindness was so powerful that even though they messed up,
Yeah.
he still needed his presence.
Moses understood the nature of God.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he understood, because, I mean, if anybody understands the goodness of God, it's somebody who murders somebody and then is forgiven of that.
True.
Right? Because Moses, I mean, he murdered one of Pharaoh's servants, or the people that was basically, you know, slave driving, you know what I'm saying? And is like, oh no, I'm going to get in trouble, and then runs away, like you were saying. And so then God comes and says, I choose you, right? You are forgiven.
I choose you,
basically.
Pikachu.
Yeah. And so Moses understands the goodness of God. He understands his forgiveness and his mercy, right? And so that's what this conversation is about. And then Moses convinces God. See, that's the wonderful thing too, is this relationship that we have with God. First of all, you can see it here. You can see it in the New Testament, which is the wonderful thing. God is the same yesterday, today, and forever, right? So he's approachable by the people who are called by his name, you know, which is all of us. We accept God and Jesus into our heart, and now we have this conversation, right? And so he says to God, you know, I'm not going to go anywhere without you. And then God says, I will cause my goodness to pass in front of you. And so many times throughout the Bible, we see this this idea, right, that God goes before you. He goes before you. He takes down strongholds. He breaks down, you know, the walls of the enemy. He paves the way for you. He makes your path so that way it's easier for you to get where you're going. And this whole idea is that God's goodness goes before you. It goes before you. Ever since the beginning of everything, in Genesis, in the garden, all the way through Moses, all the way through the prophets and the kings, all the way through the New Testament,
all the way to Revelation,
all the way to Revelation, we see God's goodness goes before you. He is always faithful. And what he's saying here is that I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy. As in, like, nobody forces me, but I choose. God chooses to have mercy upon his kids. God chooses to shine his goodness upon you. God chooses to love you. God chooses to forgive you. God chooses you.
Yeah.
So it's not that anything in your life can discount you from God's goodness. Because Moses was a murderer, Aaron was worshiping other gods, and so were all the Israelites.
Yeah.
And yet God said, okay, Moses, my goodness goes before you.
So good.
His goodness goes before you, which means that you are not without God. You cannot get away from his presence. The Bible says, where can I go that your presence won't find me? If I go to the depths, you're there with me. God is always with you. You might not be seeing him because you're turned around. And I'll tell you what, it's time to turn back around and see his goodness, because he is waiting for you. He is waiting to give you his mercy and his forgiveness. You are not broken. You are not discounted. You are not disqualified from God's presence.
It's good.
It's a conversation. And the only thing that you have to do is ask, and that's what we see here. From Old Testament to New Testament, God wasn't an angry God in the Old Testament and is now all of a sudden this gracious, forgiving God.
Right.
He's always been gracious and he's always been forgiving. And your entire life, he's been faithful.
That's
and
good.
your entire life, he's been good. And so I think it's time to come back into his presence, come back to his goodness and realize that he's here for you.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
It really was.
Yeah, it's such a good verse.
Such a good verse.
You know, we are so glad that you guys have been a part of this time. It's been a weird time, and we're glad that you're able to be with us as we get into the Bible, as we get into the Word. I encourage you guys, get into the Word.
Yes.
And with this today, just know that God is good. He is for you. He's not against you. And he has plans to prosper you, not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future.
Yeah.
And with that, hopefully we see you guys soon.
Yes.
On May the 6th is when
May
Lance
6th is
will see
Wednesday.
you. I will probably not see you because I'm going to be either in the hospital or at home with a baby. So one of those two things is going to be going on.
May 3rd is Sunday.
Oh yeah, don't forget. Sunday.
Sunday.
This Sunday, there is going to be an awesome word. Joe's going to be bringing a great word. Oh
Yes.
my goodness, the series that we're going through, talking about, making your household the church. Such a good sermon series. And don't forget, don't miss that. Tune in. It's going to be on the River Church page on Facebook at 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock.
But until Monday, stay safe. Get into God's word and remember his goodness.
Yeah. I feel like we need to have some kind of like stay frosty, like some kind of sign off, but we really don't.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we only have,
Take care, guys.
Bye.
We'll see you next time.
Such a good verse.